And welcome to Honors Chemistry. This is the spring of 2022. Some of you are watching this video because, for whatever reason, you missed class yesterday. Yesterday was our first day of class. So there were many different reasons why people missed class yesterday. And some of you are watching this video just because you want to watch it again. You don't understand something and you want to make sure you understand it. But for whatever reason, here is a brief introduction to chemistry for this semester. Like it says there on the screen, chemistry this semester will be self-paced and also standards-based. In a nutshell, what that means is self-paced, you are responsible for your own learning. And standards-based means that you'll need to prove to me that you can understand one concept before you're allowed to move on to the next concept. So briefly, that's what that means. In a little bit more detail, the only person that can make you learn something is you, right? I can give you all the tools, I can give you instructions, I can give you everything you need, but unless you take that information and put it all together, you're not going to learn anything. So that is up to you, which sometimes makes school a frustrating place because other people don't learn the same way as you, other people don't learn as fast as you, other people learn faster than you. And so it is very easy to get frustrated when everyone is stuck doing the same exact thing at the same exact time, because we're not all exactly the same. So in the self-paced model, what happens is I give you all the information that you need, and you will go through it at your own pace. So you will start at the beginning, you will work through. Some things you'll do quicker at, some things might take you a little longer, but you'll move through that material with me as your guide, helping you along the way, and giving you all the information and tools that you need to make that happen. There's still going to be due dates. This doesn't mean that you can stay on lesson 1 for the whole entire semester and be fine because, well, it just took you longer. No, still due dates. Basically, each unit has its start date and end date. It will start on one day, it will end on some future day. The path you choose to take through that is yours. But we will all start and end on the same days. I will give you for each unit, you should have it for the first unit, a suggested calendar that will help you stay on pace, stay on track. Obviously, I am here to help you if you get way too far behind, but you will be responsible for organizing your time, using it to the best of your abilities, not what your neighbor's doing, but yours, and getting through each unit. Also, we are going to be a standards-based grading class this semester. Basically what that means, this little flow chart kind of summarizes it. But for each lesson, you'll learn a new skill. There's one concept you'll learn. You'll take the time to practice it. Obviously, you'll make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You'll fix those mistakes. Once you feel like you understand, you'll take a quiz. If you do great on the quiz, awesome. You go on to the next section. If you don't, we go through the process again, figuring out what your mistakes were, fixing them, doing more practicing, taking another quiz. And you can go through this cycle as many times as you need until you understand the material. And once you understand the material, you can move on to the next section. Couple more things about this. I'll just get this all on the screen. But the goal is for you to understand what we're doing for each piece of the puzzle before you move on to the next piece of the puzzle. Some pros of that: instant feedback, so you don't have to wait a week to realize you messed up on something. It's instantaneous. And it has been shown that people are more motivated because understanding is the goal and not just getting some arbitrary points on some quizzes and assignments, right? So the goal is to truly understand the material instead of just getting some random points. Another pro that I didn't have written down on here that is good is if you have a bad day, everybody has bad days. You come in, you take the quiz, you bomb it because you're having a bad day. It's okay. You go back, you look at what you missed, you figure it out, you do it again. You're not stuck with that bad grade. You can keep working until you get a better grade. I will show you, blah, 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 skip all this right here. But here's the scale for mastery. Advanced mastery is basically the highest level. That is absolutely perfect. 100% perfect. Couldn't be any better. That's advanced mastery. Mastery is basically, you know what you're doing, you just made a teeny tiny error. Just one small little thing. Doesn't really affect how well you know stuff, but it isn't perfect. But you still have mastered it. You're still got it really good. The next level is proficient, which means you understand it pretty good, but there's some bigger error, right? But for the most part, you got it. You haven't mastered it, but you've got it for the most part. That's proficient. For either of these two levels, it is optional if you want to practice a little more and try to get it perfect, but you do not have to. When we get down to these three levels, that is where you will need to retake some things because you didn't quite understand what was happening, right? This developing level, you've some understanding, got a little idea, but you're really still not there. You don't know it well enough to move on. So practice, do some other things. I have different work for you to do, videos to watch, assignments to do. We can have conversation till you understand what's going on and you can retake the quiz. Beginning means you just don't get it, right? Like you're going off this way and you need to be going this way and you just not get it at all. So that will be a conversation with me, some tutoring and extra help to get you moving in the right direction, so you can retake the quiz. And then obviously no attempt, as just blank. It, for whatever reason, didn't even bother to try. So these are the mastery levels you want for each section to get a 3 or above, which means you understand it, you're ready to move on to the next section. So, a typical day in chemistry will look like this. 1, you come into class. There will be this piece of paper at the back table called a do now sheet. Answer the questions. First 5 minutes of class, basically get yourself centered, ready for chemistry. Tell me what your goals are for the day. So this is just to get yourself organized for what you're going to do for the day. When you are done with it, bring it to me. I want to look at it. So I'll be wandering the classroom, collecting those, but I just want to check it and see what your goal is for the day, so I know what I can do to help you reach your goal. After that, the second part of every lesson is to watch a video just like this one, take some notes. I always say, for those of you who haven't had me before, but I always say notes are for you to help you learn the material, to help you remember, to help you study. I never look at them. I don't want to do notebook checks. They are yours to help you understand what's going on, but use them, right? They're very important. After you watch the video, take some notes. Then you'll do your practice assignment. So whatever that is, could be a lab, could be an activity, could be a worksheet. It will totally be random. Not random, that was a silly word, but it'll vary, like depending on what we're learning. Some things you have to do a lab. Some things you just have to do problems on a piece of paper, just the way it is. But that's your practice. So the video is giving you information. The next step is your practice on how to master that skill. When you're done with your assignment, it goes in this folder in the back, or this tray in the back of the room, whichever period you are, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I will look at your assignments, make sure you're doing it right, because obviously we want to correct any mistakes that are glaring before you take the quiz. So I will take a minute to look at these, make sure you're moving in the right direction, and you will have to fix them if they're wrong. There are 3 types of assignments in each unit. Required assignments, obviously, just like the name says, they're required. Everybody does them. Recommended, a little more in depth, maybe a little more difficult, like a second higher level, like a second tier. And then level up is a third tier. These usually will be more fun. They will definitely be more challenging, more thought provoking. So, 3 types of assignments. This is how they will affect your grade. If you only do the required assignments, so you just stop at that first level, don't do any higher level things, the highest grade you can get is an 80% on that unit, on that section. In order to get a 90%, you have to do the required and the recommended. And then to get 100%, you'll have to do all 3 types of assignments. So you'll have to do everything, right? 100% is perfect, which means, you've done a perfect job. Not that easy to get. But perfection is not easy, right? It takes some work. I have faith that you all can get there, but it does take some work. So all of these will be labeled, and you will see in your unit plan what type of assignment is what. And you can choose. Remember I said I give you a start point and give you an end point and all the tools, but it is your path to take from start to finish of each unit. After you've done your practice, you will do a mastery check. This is something that shows to me that you have mastered the material, that you understand what's going on. Sometimes it'll be a quiz, sometimes it'll be a conversation with me, sometimes it'll be a lab or an activity. It just depends on the skill that you're trying to learn and show me that you understand. So for these mastery checks, if you get at least an 80%, that's a 3 or above, you can move on to the next level. If you need more practice, I'll give you more practice things to do, and you can retake the quiz. But you have to score at least a 3 or above in order to move on. Lastly, at the end of every class, there will be an exit ticket. This is basically a did you meet your goal? Remember at the beginning of class, you came up with a goal. So the exit ticket is, did you meet your goal? Yes, no. What can you do different? What got you off track? If you didn't meet your goal, why not? So just some reflection questions, and that will be at the end of every class. So that's all for the notes that you missed the other day, or yesterday, I guess it was. Let me know if you have any questions. Your first practice assignment is in Canvas.